This is my second exam questions with I guess for Dr. Vicky. My apologies for filming this in the car. I haven't had any other time but to film in the car, but I do have really good content for you. I'm just gonna read the second question and what it says. It says describes Allah's attributes and how one lives up to Allah's expectation. 5 pillars of Islam. In what ways did Muhammad challenge the Iraq society, and how did he transform it, religion, traditions, tribute culture, and treatment of women, etc.? Explain what Judaism, Christianity, Islam have in common, and what sets are these different, similar, the same, just basic compare contrast. And I wanted you to take a look at my outline first. I'll also share it, put another what's it called. First of all, I want to the people who don't know who is Allah. Allah is a God from Islam. And with the first part describing, the attributes of one list of Allah's expectations. The biggest thing in the set of rules is like the 5 pillars of Islam. Specifically, those are their set of rules that they follow. And I'm just going to briefly discuss them to you. The first one is that you have to at least go to a pilgrimage, and travel to Mecca. And once in your lifetime, you have to visit Mecca and Jerusalem, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the second one is you have to pray to Mecca. You have to pray 5 times a day. You have to pray 5 times a day towards Mecca. I believe that's east, depending on where you're standing at. And in Israel, they would have I guess the thing where the siren goes off, or a sign goes up, basically saying it's time for you to pray, whatever case may be, and everyone prays 5 times a day to Mecca. Almsgiving or charity, basically giving back to less fortunate, giving back to people who don't have it necessarily. Allah wants us, well, I want to say us, wants everyone to be able to give back to the community and be nice and be respectful. So if you see someone that doesn't have what you have, you should give them something of what you have. Also, Allah is the only God and a profession of faith. So in order to believe in, Muslim, you would have to, fully commit to Allah and say, Allah, there's only one God. There's only one God. And you have 100% of faith to him. You have 100% faith to him. And the last one is the fasting, which would be the month of the Ramadan. And basically it means from dusk to dawn, you cannot eat. You only drink water, and you must, pray throughout the day, whatever the case may be. And when sun sets, you're able to eat with your family and have a graceful dinner, whatever the case may be. It teaches you a lot when fasting. You pray. I feel like during the month of Ramadan, you have more faith, and you're more tribute to talk about Allah and respect him and love him more than any other month, if that makes sense. This is my personal opinion. And the second part of the question, if you don't mind me reading it, it said, in what ways did Muhammad challenge Arab societies, and how they transform the different customs and religions? And I could basically say, the Prophet Muhammad was a rich and famous guy, and for a long time, when he was younger, he ended up leaving his society, which was rich, famous, glorious, all the riches you could ever expect for I guess a prince. He ended up leaving, and he left with nothing, didn't have anything to pursue his religion, which was he believed in Allah, and he firmly believed in Allah. And I think many people believe that there are many gods. There are many, many, many gods that I think people necessarily believed in. But Muhammad, he said no, there's only one God, and whatever the case may be. And and people used to like be like just outrageous and slaughtering their children and disrespecting their wives and killing their wives and cheating on their wives. And Muhammad comes in as a prophet, and he comes and tells everyone about Allah, and he tells everyone that, you know, about the 5 pillars and how you, and about basically what's the religion about, and how, you know, you guys should change for Allah. And what else can I say? Women didn't have rights at all. They didn't have any rights. And basically he was saying that you shouldn't abuse your wife, and you know, you should treat your woman with respect, care, love, and attention. Like, you know, you should treat her with a lot of love and enthusiasm. And specifically with back then, you know, with they would kill they would kill the daughter, because the daughter, when they get married, they lose generational wealth. And with the males, they gain more money and more wealth, and whatever the case may be. And I guess like the whole religion is totally against it. You know, you cannot kill in their in Muslim religion. And I think, you know, Muhammad just emphasized everything that Allah taught him to tell everyone else. And it was very difficult with him following the 5 pillars, and him, you know, everyone not believing in him at some point, and him going to the pilgrimage. And, you know, that was like one of the most toughest things. But I guess his faith grew, I guess, quicker and thicker, whatever the case may be. And lastly, I want to talk about the Judaism, Christianity, and everything and whatnot. And the biggest thing, explain Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and the common differences. Start off with number 1, like the similarities. They all are monotheistic religion. I mean, they only have one God, which would be their founders. They have different founders, though. The different founders would be Jesus, which would be Christianity, as we know. And then for Muhammad, which was the prophet, which would be, you know, Islam. And then for Abraham would be for Judaism. And so they all kind of tied in. They all have one God, whatever case may be. They're just different prophets, or whatever case may be. They all have books, like followings, teachings they follow. I couldn't pronounce the one from Judaism, but I know from Muhammad it's the Quran, and for Christianity it's the Bible. And another thing is that these 3 religions make up, I believe, half of the population, and they're like the 3 biggest religions in the world. And then some of the key differences that I pointed out that I want to talk about were just the founders, like saying, you know, well, Christianity is Jesus Christ, and Muhammad is Islam, and Abraham is Judaism. And then the rituals were also different too, in meaning, with Christianity, a ritual would be baptism, like a rebirth, with the holy water sprinkling on you, whatever the case may be, and getting married with, you know, like holy matrimony, And then for Islam, it's off the back 5 pillars. You have to follow the 5 pillars. This is a daily ritual that everyone has. And also for Christianity, another ritual that they have is the breaking of the bread. Communion. That's the one, communion. And then for Judaism, it's circumcision. So they, like, at a baby, if you're a male, whatever the case may be, Judaism will focus on circumcision. And that was like their mainly rituals. And all of these tied in because, like I was telling you before, you know, they're similar, but they're different, if that makes sense. They're similar and different. I can say, like, It's like a square and a rectangle. They're similar, but they're not the same. That makes sense. And so another thing I also want to say, excuse me, was that Muhammad really, really had to go through a lot and endure a lot. And he had to sacrifice a lot just to get to the religion now. Is that, he really was like an amazing prophet, if that makes sense. And that concludes the second exam questions. Thank you.